Hey Nordonia, Megan here, a local sports dietitian and wellness coach. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today as part of Nordonia's Safe Decisions Week 2020, sponsored by Ohio Sports Chiropractic and Rehab and Jill Gaba, State Farm Agent. Today I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to make a super healthy and ridiculously delicious after-school snack. To find more great posts just like this, search hashtag Nordonia SDW2020 on social media. So today we're going to make some double chocolate banana blender muffin. So the first step to making anything delicious in the kitchen is gathering all of your ingredients. So here you can see everything that we need to make our double chocolate blender muffins. So first and foremost, we need bananas because these bad boys don't have any added sugar in them, so they're gonna get all their sweetness from 3 ripe bananas. So we want bananas that have spots on them like this, right? Not the yellow ones that we get from the store. So we're gonna use 3 bananas. We are also going to add Greek yogurt, right? So 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt and 1/2 a cup of peanut butter. But you guys can use whatever you have. So if you like almond butter or you have a nut allergy and you use something like sunflower butter, that's totally fine. And then we're also going to add into that some cocoa powder. So 1/4 of a cup of cocoa powder, and that's what's gonna make them nice and chocolatey for us. And then the substance of these muffins actually comes from oats. So we're just gonna use your good old-fashioned oats. If all you have is quick oats, that's totally fine too. They'll work just as well. So we've got a 1 3/4 cup of whatever type of oats you have. And then we also need 2 eggs that are rolling away over here. So we need 2 eggs. And then just like most things, we want some vanilla. So a teaspoon of vanilla. And we want a teaspoon of baking powder and also 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So all of these ingredients are just gonna go right into the blender. So super easy peasy. The only thing you have to save to add at the end is your chocolate chips. So you'll hang on to those and keep those aside. So the blender that I have is just a good old Vitamix blender, which is a local company. And they're absolutely fantastic. But you can honestly use whatever type of blender that you have. So a lot of people have made these with something like a Ninja blender or something that's a little bit smaller. And basically you just want to separate it into 2 different batches, if you will. So you'll want to blend 1/2 of it and then blend the other 1/2 if you don't have a container that's quite as big as this. But truthfully, these are so easy because we're just going to put all the ingredients right into here. So first we're gonna put our 3 bananas in, and it's helpful to put this stuff in first because if you put the oats in first, it has trouble kind of blending it all up, so it just works a little bit easier if we do it this way. So we're gonna throw our 3 bananas on in there. And then the next thing that we'll want to put in there is the eggs because they kind of help that blender spin at the bottom there. So crack those guys on in. Hopefully you got a sink, you can toss them in behind you as well. And I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they love to help with this. So fun stuff to let everybody get involved in. So we've got our 3 bananas and our 2 eggs, and now we're going to dump our Greek yogurt in there as well. Tap that on in. It's 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt. And then we're gonna put our peanut butter. So it's 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter. And the other thing that I absolutely love about this recipe, use my finger here because I didn't bring a spoon, is it's very forgiving. So typically, I mean, I'm measuring things nice and beautifully for you guys since you're all here with me today, but I typically just use a spoon and just plop the amount in that it looks like. Unlike a lot of baked goods, you really can't mess these up. So, don't have to get quite as precise as we're getting here right now. So we've got our eggs, our bananas, our Greek yogurt, and our eggs in here. So now we're gonna kind of start piling on some of the dry ingredients on top of there. So we're gonna pour in the 1 3/4 cup of oats. And then we're gonna put in the 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And then we need some vanilla and we need a teaspoon. And like I was just telling you guys, I don't always measure things. So we're just gonna, dribble a teaspoon of vanilla in there for good luck. And then in order to make them rise and to make them a little puffier, right, we need to put our baking powder, which is 1 teaspoon. And then we want to put in our baking soda, which is 1/2 teaspoon. And stick that on in there, and we're good. We got all our ingredients in there. So now what we're gonna do is stick the lid on nice and tight, guys. We don't want this exploding. And if you have something, I think this is called a tamper, it kind of helps you to be able to kind of blend it up. Let me let you guys see this a little better here. There you go. Kind of helps it blend it up a little bit. So just turn that guy on, just waz it up until it's totally done. Just that easy, just that quick. So as you can see, all of our batter is right in here now. It's a pretty loose batter, so it's pretty liquidy. It's not super thick like some muffins. I've had some people ask me questions about that. So it's almost like smoothie consistency. So then what you're gonna do now is get out your little scraper, however you're gonna get it out of your container, right? And the only thing that we need to add now is the chocolate chips, right? And I've had quite a few people that will put like peanut butter chocolate chips or butterscotch chocolate chips or something kind of exciting in here. So we've got our batter. We're going to dump in the chocolate chips, mix it on up, and we are ready to put this into the pan. Now, as you're getting started with all of this, make sure that you're preheating your oven so you're ready to rock. As you can see, mine's ready to roll behind us. So you want to preheat it to 350 degrees. Get that ready, and then you want to get out a 12-cup muffin tin. So what you can do is you can either grease the pan or you can just throw some muffin tin cups, whatever they're called, into there as well. Either one works. Just make sure you grease it with something or they're going to get really stuck. So then we are just going to fill these guys up. So here's our cups, and what we're going to do is we're literally just going to pour it on in. It's pretty nice because you're only messing up one pan here, right? Or one bowl, I should say. There's not too much cleanup. Especially, like I was saying, if you don't actually measure things in the beginning. But if you've never made them before, it might indeed be helpful to measure your things first. So the really cool thing about these muffins is they are super easy to whip up, and they're 100% whole grain, right? So since we're not adding any like processed white flour, all of the bulk of the muffin actually comes from the bananas and from the oats. So you're getting some really serious nutrition. Oats are a great source of whole grains. They're also a good source of complex carbohydrates and fiber. Fiber keeps us fuller longer than the processed white carbohydrates, which is fantastic. So it keeps us full. If we're eating one of these after school for a snack, it'll kind of tie us over until we get to our healthy dinner. And then the bananas add the sweetness, and then they also add, some of the substance to these muffins. So they add a little bit of the bulk to it. And also, like I said, all the sweetness. So as you notice, we didn't have to add any sugar into these muffins. And I dare you guys all to try them because they're absolutely fantastic, and I don't think that you will miss them. My 5-year-old has eaten one of these for breakfast every day for the last at least 10 months. So on that note, the best way to save these after you're done making them is if you're gonna eat them in the next day or two, absolutely, you can just keep them on the counter. If they're gonna be longer than that, throw them in the fridge. But truthfully, the way that we really like to keep these is we like to put them in the freezer. So when you put them in the freezer, obviously they freeze very quickly, but then you can pop them in the microwave for 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds if it's higher powered, and they get like kind of soft and warm again, and the chocolate chips melt and they taste absolutely fantastic. So highly recommend. You can throw them into the freezer and the kids can just, pop one into the microwave before they eat them. So now we've got them in here. As you can see, they feel pretty full, right? So you saw me kind of go back and add a little more into each one. So they're pretty decent sized muffins. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw them into carefully place them into the oven, and we're gonna bake them in the oven here for 20 minutes. So as we're waiting for these muffins to cook, I think it's important that we talk about what makes a healthy snack, and then what should we be thinking about when we're trying to build a snack that's going to tie us over between meals. The goal of snacks is really to manage our hunger, right? A lot of us, especially active people, can't consume enough energy at 3 meals a day to really get what our body needs. So we end up really hungry between meals, right? So in order to get to a meal, sometimes we need those snacks in between there. So if you're one of those people and you're looking for an after-school snack or a mid-morning snack or even a snack before bed if you've had an early dinner. You know, the things that we're looking for to make that a substantial and meaningful snack that helps with our hunger is looking for something that has some fiber. Fiber keeps us full a little bit longer because it's slower to digest. So when we consume something with fiber in it, it leaves our stomach more slowly. So when something leaves our stomach more slowly, what we find is that it keeps us full longer, right? When food's in our stomach is when we actually feel full. So a little bit of fiber, which in these muffins would have been the oatmeal, right, can help with that. The other thing is we need some protein. So protein is the macronutrient that keeps us full the longest. So when I say macronutrient, I'm talking about the things in food that give us energy: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. So protein digestion actually begins in the stomach. It's the only macronutrients that's digestion begins in the stomach. So what that means is, just like that fiber, it's hanging out in our stomach a little bit longer. So what we find is that if we have a snack that has some fiber, that has some protein, that it actually keeps us fuller longer and satisfied with a smaller amount, higher nutrition quality of food. So in this muffin, the Greek yogurt and the eggs have the protein, right? The bananas and the oats have the fiber, and then there's chocolate, so they taste absolutely fantastic, right? So that you're satisfying the types of food that you're looking to satisfy you when it comes to a snack, right? And then also it has the nutrition in it to really keep us full. So if you missed part of this recipe, or you're looking for some other fantastically healthy yet delicious recipes, visit my website at featherstonenutrition.com. So after these guys have cooked for about 20 minutes, what you want to do is you want to take them out of the oven and grab a toothpick and put it into the center of the biggest muffin, because everybody's oven's a little bit different, and everybody's baking pan, the different colors can kind of cook at a different time, so it might need a little bit more or a little bit less than 20 minutes, so you always want to check that and make sure. So what we'll do is take these guys out of the oven here, and we will find the biggest one and stick this in. And it came out with a chocolate chip on it, but I can tell around there that it's clean, so these guys are done. And this is what they'll look like when they come out. And sit these down on your counter on some sort of grate, right, to let them cool here for a little bit. Let them sit there for a minute or two, and then you can pull them out with a fork or a knife around the edges and set them out here. So here they are, the final product, your double chocolate banana blender muffins. You can put some chocolate chips on the top. I think we forgot to talk about that. It makes them extra delicious. So make sure that you tune in to Nordonia Hills News Facebook page for the live stream of the Night Safe Decision blackout game. And post your photos after you make these delicious muffins with the hashtag NordoniaSDW2020 as we rally for the Knights. And remember, guys, serious goals require serious fuel. So make yourself some of these muffins, stock your freezer, and fuel it up well. And for other nutrition tips or for one-on-one nutrition counseling, contact me, Megan, at featherstonenutrition.com. Take care, guys. Cheers.